4s.
Did Army not get in the
They missed the tournament, yes. Yeah.
Is there an uproar over that?
A little bit, but
Okay.
mild. I mean, like, it's tough to Patriot League get.
Okay, but in fairness,
I understand. They were really good.
Institution.
Thank you. Great point. Joining us now here on GCR. He's
Put him
getting
in.
ready.
Put
He's
Army
getting
in.
ready for the NCAA tournament this Sunday.
Terrible.
Heard his name called last night in the PLL Draft. He's headed out to play for the Denver Outlaws. He is already a national champion, would like to finish his career with another. Maryland goalie Logan McNaney is with us here on GCR. Logan, it's Glenn. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you so much for taking the time for us this morning.
Yeah, Glenn, thanks for having me on here. Pretty cool show, so excited to be on here.
Yeah, I don't know about any of that. Things get a little nuts around here. Also, unfortunately,
Yeah, that's okay. That's fine.
You know, we're fans right now, but as you might see behind my partner Griffin, we are whip snakes guys around here. So like, we're gonna have to have a divorce in a month. Like, it's just gonna be sad.
I'm with you for the next month.
Yeah, right. Let's have a hell of a ride though for the next month.
That's all that matters right now.
Right. Hey, Logan, you know, it's crazy to think, right? Like, I'm sure that first year, everything that you accomplished, like, man, you know, maybe you're going to win 4 of these before it's all said and done. What does it mean to you now, realizing, like, this is the end of the line? This is the last chance to get another one. How real does that become as you get into the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. Obviously been through a lot of things, whether that's injuries, COVID, you know, just kind of taking a step back and reflecting on my time here. You know, all the guys that I played with, the coaches and everything like that. Kind of want to send it off in the right way with a great group of guys. And obviously winning a national championship is great. But other guys haven't experienced that, and I want other guys to experience that.
You know, what does it take, right? Like, you know, obviously, you know what it took for you guys to get back to the title game a year ago. And, you know, this year you've had the highs, and then there have been moments where, you know, this team hasn't played its best lacrosse. What does it take to be able to do this, to win 4 games over the stretch of 3 weeks?
I think the biggest thing is sticking together. We're a very close-knit group. In years prior, we've had really close groups. And even last year when we didn't have our best regular season, we got smoked in the Big Ten semifinals. We kind of took a step back and talked about some things. We fixed some things, adjusted, but we all stuck together through it all, and we obviously made that run. But I think the biggest thing is the love we have for each other, and you know, wanting to see the joy on each other's faces, and that kind of strives us to keep getting better and, you know, play our butts off every weekend.
You have had any number of amazing moments during the course of your career, right? And I'm sure, you know, the team success is the stuff that matters the most to you. I understand that. But I think about, you know, the end of the Notre Dame game. I think about, like, scoring goal. Is there one in particular to you that, like, maybe we wouldn't know about, that wouldn't be at the top of our hit list, but, like, for some particular reason – it's a moment during the course of your Maryland career that really means a lot to you, or like a highlight that you love to go back and watch?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, the Hopkins games are always awesome. You know, losing last year kind of sucked. We were going through some things, but every Hopkins game means a lot to our whole team and to the state in general. Obviously, those are super cool, but I think for me, I think during COVID, in the Final Four semifinal game, we played Duke. Didn't really get talked much about, but I felt like our team played super well against them then, and I was playing well. I was seeing the ball really well, and I think, you know, moving the next year ahead in 22, that semifinal game against Princeton, I thought that was probably my best game I played, and I continued to do that into the championship game. And like that little stretch there during the 22 season in the playoffs, I thought I was seeing the ball really well. And that's something that's really stuck out to me as I look back on.
The results would back that up, obviously.
Yeah.
They back that up. Logan McNaney from Maryland with us. They'll be in action Sunday, still awaiting an opponent. We'll find that out later on tonight. Logan, it's funny to hear you reference like the Maryland Hopkins thing, right? Because you're not a local kid, right? Like you're not from here. What has that meant to you, sort of being ingratiated the Hopkins stuff, even like the atmosphere. I did your guys' game at Loyola earlier this season, right? And like
Yeah.
that atmosphere is just bonkers. It's insane.
Yeah.
What has it been like for you, sort of learning this culture and how significant it is to you, and what has being a part of that meant to you over these years?
Yeah, well, I've spent a quarter of my life at this place at this point.
That's a good
So,
point.
um, you know, you kind of once you get here your freshman year, obviously like lacrosse, it's one of the biggest rivalries is Maryland Hopkins. But Maryland guys have a special place in their heart for this game. And when you get here, that's kind of one of the things that the older guys want us to understand is, um, the records go out the window. It's between Baltimore and whatever, blah blah blah. And there's just a lot of pride in that rivalry, and everyone wants to beat the crap out of each other. And I think with when COVID hit and we just played in conference, it kind of lost some of its jazz a little bit, which kind of it's unfortunate, but I think you want to beat your in-state rival, and I think that's a special thing to have that type of rivalry, and those are games you kind of live for and dream of those the states watching this game, and you have one side that wants Hopkins to win, one side that wants Maryland to win, and I think that's a pretty special place to be in.
You wearing the number 1, right? Like, what has that meant to you this season? And I know you went through some adversity coming into the year and in
Yeah.
the fall, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
Is it more meaningful that you've been able to have the season that you've had because of everything that you went through leading up to the season?
Yeah, I think, yeah, because last year coming back from the ACL, that was tough. I was starting grad school up. That was a really tough program, tough transition period. I had a couple cleanups during the fall. I actually had surgery on my thumb last summer, so I couldn't really do much in the summer. I was in a cast for a while. I got my knee cleaned up, so just those days of extra work with rehab and stuff. Getting back into the swing of things and everything like that. Um, I thought was kind of taught. I kind of learned some things about myself, and you know, as you get older, things start to hurt more. You got to take care of your body.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I've just learned a lot about myself through those processes, and it's kind of worked out.
What about the number 1, right? Like, what has
Yeah.
that meant to you to wear that jersey?
Yeah, I mean, I've been super honored to be able to wear that jersey. There's a long line of obviously great, legendary players that have worn that jersey, and it kind of signifies what a Maryland lacrosse player is, and I try to do that to my best ability. And I get kind of texts here and there from some of those guys and stuff like that, and their support has been great. But I'm truly honored to be able to represent Maryland
I know
with
that
wearing number 1.
you'd probably be a leader anyway, right? Because obviously you've been around for a while, and like,
Yeah,
that's part of the deal. But like, does that come with an additional level of obligation? Like when you get the number 1 jersey?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
I think if you make it like, obviously it means a big deal to a lot of people, and it means a big deal to me. But if you try to make it more than it is, and you try to change who you are as a person, as a player, as a leader, I think you kind of get lost in the mix in there. And I think I try to stay authentic to who I am, and I think that's what guys appreciate, and I think younger guys, hope that helps with them too, because obviously, like when you get here, you learn from the older guys, and I'm trying to kind of be authentic to myself. Obviously, step up in areas where I need to step up, but also show those younger guys and lead them to
I
be
know.
better men and better players.
I know there have been some other guys that have worn that jersey that just like weren't talkers at all. So like I
Yeah,
understand
yeah,
that entirely.
Wisnowskis.
Yeah, right. Just not that he's not that guy. It would be fake. It would be forced,
Yeah.
right? If that were the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Logan, I love asking baseball players this feeling when they hit a home run, right? But like, can you describe what it's like when you make a say, and you've made a few of these during your career, just unreal end of game. It all comes down to this. Can you just describe for people that will never know what that feeling is like like what that moment is, how electric it is to do something like that in a big game.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I try to block all the noise out. Um, I don't get swallowed up in all that noise and stuff. I just try to, make those saves. And I treat every shot the same. I don't, you know, you get scored on, right? Like it's gonna happen. You kind of have to think like a goldfish at times, but
Hmm.
obviously when it comes down to it in those clutch moments, you can't overthink it. You can't, get juiced up too much. You can't grip your stick too tight. You kind of just got to stay calm during those moments. Because if you get jazzed up, you might take a misstep or, you might drop your hands or something like that. So for me, it's just I try to stay as calm as possible and, make the save like I do every other time.
And you've been really good at it,
But it's
man.
pretty special. I mean, it's
Yeah.
pretty special. Like
Yeah.
when you hear the
Thank you.
fans go crazy, it's pretty cool. Like you kind of get juiced up after the fact, and once the ball gets past midline, I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Okay, all right, now we can enjoy it. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Now you can have a little bit of
hopefully we score.
a little bit of a moment there. Logan, the dynamic now with you and Jesse, right? Like, when he tries to say something to you this week, do you say like, "Hey, bro, just we're teammates now"? Like, the dynamic's different. Like, you don't get to treat me the same way anymore.
Yeah, we'll definitely have some banter probably. Probably like now I get to yell at him in the summer.
Yeah, this is where you're supposed to be on the field. Yeah, you get to be that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, but that's gonna be really cool. A couple other Terps on the Outlaws as well. Luke Bierman, I lived with him for 5 years. Nick Rill, Alex Smith, Logan McNaney, like those guys are great dudes. So
That's cool.
pretty happy with the selection.
No, I mean it's a cool feel. I don't know. Did you get to see the video of like the Outlaws fans reacting? Like that's got to be awesome, right? Like,
yeah, that was really cool,
dude.
That was
they're that jacked up for you. Like,
I know.
That's so cool.
I think they would have been jacked up regardless. They looked like they were having some fun, but it's cool.
Right. You're probably right about it, but it's still cool, man. Logan, I obviously we can't ask you about the opponent because we don't know who the opponent's going to be, but I assume like you guys just have to take the nameless faceless, right? Like that it does not matter. We've got to play to our standard no matter what moving forward.
Yeah. I mean, we can't beat ourselves. If we come out with energy and focus and intent and we kind of don't beat ourselves, fail clears, little things, ground balls, stuff like that. I think we'll do a pretty good job. Right now we're kind of just focusing on ourselves and working on getting better these next couple of days, and then once we know who we're playing, we'll go through the whole scout and stuff like that, and get dialed for them. But right now, we're kind of just figuring things out and dialing things in and fine tuning the loose spots.
Last chance to see Logan McNaney play at Maryland Stadium. Get there on Sunday and check it out. Logan, am I correct that like you're completely off social media, like that you're just you don't even bother with it right now?
Yeah, not really. I mean,
good for you, man. Good for you.
I never have really. Like I have Instagram, whatever, blah blah blah. But like I don't really, go on it too much.
Dude, I'm so jealous.
Just not really,
I'm
not really who I am.
I'm so jealous of that, man. I would love that to be the case. 2:30 Sunday afternoon, Maryland Stadium, CQ Stadium. Let me make sure I get that right.
Yep.
And of course, on ESPNU if you can't make it.
Mm-hmm.
Logan McNaney, it's really been a joy to watch you play, man, and call some of your games. You're a phenomenal goalie, and looking forward to seeing what you're going to do before it's all said and done here in your Maryland career.
Yep.
Thank you for spending time with us this morning, bro. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, guys.